So back in the garage with the Rallye. Brought it back from my buddy Mike's today. Mike did like a timing belt, water pump, all the serpentine belt, the V belt. Kind of just went through everything. We had an issue with the water pump. There's a couple different options on water pumps, and we were using German water pumps. Well, the first one is a German water pump, and the car started overheating. After we did the coolant sensor, fan switch, everything to try to help drop the coolant temperature, make it run a little bit cooler, and it kept overheating. The fan wasn't wanting to come on. So there was that issue, and Mike was able to catch the problem with the water pump. The impellers quite a bit different than the ones he's used to installing, you know, like the cast impellers. And so he pulled it off and said, you know, I think it's cavitating, we're gonna need to replace it, let's order another water pump. Ordered another one. It was very similar to the same design as this one. Ordered another one, and it came in similar to the same design impeller, but had a backing plate on it. And so he asked me, you know, do you think you want to use it, or do you want to continue to search and see if we can find one with the cast impeller? I said, let's try it, and that way, you know, it'll prove your theory. If it worked, then we know that the other two, because they didn't have the backing plate, was causing it to cavitate and create air bubbles, you know, air in the system. And so we tried it, and it worked. Fixed all the problems, so got rid of the other two water pumps. But I have one, and I want to show you. We'll do a little bit of video showing the difference between them, just so anybody, you know, with the Corrado or Rallye uses the same water pump, you'll know that that's a problem and not to use that water pump down the road. So kind of cool heads up, and help anybody else out that might need help with it. But one thing that is sweet, we did get the license plate today. I know I wish I would have been able to put an O in there, an E would have been nice, but since it's a vintage vehicle plate, they want this section all open. They only give you enough space for 5 letters, so I did Group A. And then on the Quattro, we're gonna get rid of this vintage plate here, and we'll go to another one. But kind of just been cleaning up the car. It's quite a bit of things that you can't see that we've done, and then other things that you can see. One thing we found out is on this this manifold here, I believe is the wrong manifold for a Rallye. Got this hose dangling off here that's just got a plug on the bottom, so I'm trying to find the correct one there. And then I also need the correct coolant hose for the heater core. This one is incorrect, and so we got to replace that. If you can see down in there, it's rubbing on the brake fluid reservoir there, so we'll get that replaced. Also need a hose for my airbox here. It's got a crack in the bottom. I believe it's the same as a Corrado, but I don't have a Corrado airbox or Corrado hose, so I'm trying to find somebody who's parting out a Corrado that I can pick up that hose and be able to see if it actually is the same. I got the Porsche 911 spark plugs in, and we'll be installing those soon. They are the Bosch Platinum 4238s. These were hard to come by for some reason. I couldn't find them anywhere besides on eBay. And on eBay, everybody was selling them in packs of 6, and hardly anybody was selling them. But supposedly those are the go-to spark plug for the G60. If anybody else knows otherwise, has an opinion, let me know. But that's that. So we're gonna keep cleaning up the car, trying to find a factory rain tray. I do like this aftermarket one here because it is so thick, but you can see that it doesn't match up correctly with the VIN number, and so it's not the correct one, but it's nice. It's not the I don't know what people call that other one. It's made out of super thin plastic. It's almost like a garbage bag material that's been hardened. Next up on the list is Jonas is sending me a new headlight housing for the driver's side, and I'll go through and replace that, rebuild that headlight. And then we are waiting on VXT for our projectors. The interior, now I have the car back, the interior is going to get all pulled out and reupholstered. I decided I am going to keep these RS2 seats, and going to put them, going to reupholster them kind of a unique way. So I really like those seats. I like how they are adjustable, and I like that they're power. So kind of really cool feature. I did get the stock Gamma radio for this car, and I am looking for a dash because of these little holes right there. So we've got the DigiFizz gauges, boost and air to fuel ratio. I need to go ahead and install. And then I'm having another buddy come over to do a paint correction on the car, clean up the paint, get rid of these water spots and just the horrendous look there. But hey guys, another day, another dollar. Working over here on the Rallye. So we're getting ready for Bonelli. It's in November. We got September, October, so we got two and a half months about. But I figure when you're working on a Rallye, parts are not easily accessible, and so I'm gonna have to try to get stuff done a little sooner and start a little sooner. So the Sebring splits, those are coming off of the car, and those are going back on the Corrado. I have the BBS E50s that we built. I showed you guys those the other day. They're up here. Those are going to be going on the Rallye, waiting on the spacers and hub-centric rings for that. And then we're going to just start tearing apart the Rallye. I do not know the real condition of the G-ladder. I know what was told to me, and I don't necessarily believe that. So we're going to tear apart the bracket, pull the G-ladder off, pull the alternator off. We will be painting all the aluminum parts, and then all the steel parts will be getting powder coated. And I'm going to start pulling off all of the steel clamps, bolts. We're going to start zinc plating all of that stuff as well. So just trying to clean it up a bunch for Bonelli and find any little thing that could go wrong on the drive from Salt Lake City to Orange County, California. I don't know, this might be the longest drive a Rallye has ever done since the 1990s. Maybe not, but Jonas probably has me beat. Back in Denmark, cruising to Worthesea, I think he did like a 12-hour drive, so 13 hours, just maybe 1 hour longer than him, but we'll find out. Hopefully we have better luck than Jonas. But okay, so that's that. I'm gonna put in time lapse, and you can watch me crank away on this bad boy. we took a lot of the nuts and bolts for every single bracket off of the engine, and then the brackets as well. I took and sandblasted all the brackets. Ended up taking the nuts and bolts over to a local plater, had him plate all the nuts and bolts, and then all the hose clamps. So all that's done. We can kind of start reassembly soon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the brackets that are aluminum, and I'm going to move out the truck. We'll leave the Air Quattro here. I'm going to drape some plastic over the Air Quattro, and then I'll drape some plastic over the Rallye, and I'm going to set up my rack again, and we'll use some ceramic engine paint and paint all those aluminum brackets. The black or the steel brackets, those are going to be powder coated. So I dropped those off over at Extreme Coatings, and he's going to do all the powder coating on them. And the downside is, you know, we won't get those back for about a week, but at least we can get all this other stuff done, get it all assembled. Waiting on a oil cooler. I don't know if you can, you can't really see it with the lift up like it is, but the oil cooler's all corroded. Here, this gives you an idea. This is a fitting that runs to the heater core, and you see all that corrosion on that. So that's about what the oil cooler looks like. So we're replacing the oil cooler as well at the same time. I did buy 2 of these rear tow hook covers, and they are 3D printed, but the company that did it did not do that great of a job, because it's almost like they didn't print it hot enough. So a couple of these layers have split, so I went back with a plastic welder and just welded it kind of all together on the ends and started sanding on it to smooth it out. I'm going to start adding some filler, get it to be a lot better structurally, and then we'll repaint that. I did get a new grill. I don't know if I showed you that. We were able to find one through Heritage, and also got a new sunroof sill and the rear cargo cover strap there. But yeah, the new grill, they had 2 left. We were lucky enough to get 1. I didn't want to spend money and buy 2 and make somebody else miss out, but we're going to paint the grill. The top section will be all black, and then the bottom is going to be red, just like the last one. I like that look. I think it looks good. Otherwise I could make it original and just do it all red, but I like that other look a little bit better. And then, I don't know if I told you, Jonas, he came through with a new headlight housing, and so what we're going to do is pull that other one apart, and then go put it in the oven, heat it up, get all the glue to soften up, and then we'll pull the lens off and keep the Hella lens. So that's all stuff we're going to start working on the Rallye. And in the meantime, we did start wiring up the Air Quattro, but that's another day. So wish me luck. Okay, so getting ready to spray all the aluminum parts from the Rallye, and I've already mixed up the paint. I'm just ready to go. Bagged the cars. I'm not too worried about the Quattro because this thing's getting a full respray, but I just didn't want to get any overspray on the windows, really, some of the trim stuff. And then the Rallye we are worried about, so we don't want to get any overspray over there. Gonna grab my mask, and then we'll go ahead and spray all these. I bead blasted them the other day. I used like an aluminum oxide as the media, and it leaves them a little bit rough. But when you spray this high temp ceramic engine paint from Eastwood, that levels that really well, and you can't hardly see any of that. That was a thing I had hanging up, yeah. So just fell off of the air compressor. So we're good to go. I'm gonna start spraying this stuff, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Oh, make sure you wear a respirator when you're doing this. Okay, safety first, guys. Okay, so got everything sprayed, spilled a little on the ground, which is actually fine because I had some white paint on the ground, and this engine paint actually matched my floor pretty well, so it made my floor look a lot better than it was. But you can see it looks a whole lot better. This one here's got a little bit of orange peel on it. A little bit's an understatement, a lot. So that one will, we're gonna go back and respray all these with the second coat, but that one's definitely gonna need a little bit of love before that. They all look a whole lot better than when they were covered in grease and rust and saturated with all sorts of engine grime. So